Hello dear students, let us look at this new topic, frequency polygon. What is a frequency polygon? This comes under the graphical representation of data. When we talk about the graphical representation, there are various ways of representing it pictorially. One of them is frequency polygon. So what exactly is frequency polygon? If we look at its name, polygon, it contains the word polygon. That means there has to be a closed figure. There has to be a figure with sides, which has to be a closed figure, isn't it? A polygon is that itself. Polygon means what? It is many-sided figure. It is a figure which has many sides and it happens to be a closed figure. So it should have a closed figure. Also, though that figure should represent the frequencies. So if I talk about the figure to be representing frequency, how can it do that? We know that a polygon contains vertices. So the vertices of this polygon will represent the frequency of the given set of data. If I look at this figure in front of you, we can see that we have a graph page on which some bars are being made. Aren't we familiar with this graph? It looks like a histogram to me. Is it a histogram? Definitely. Why is it a histogram? Because there is no gap between the consecutive rectangular bars, and also it represents the consecutive, or I should say the continuous class intervals. And you may see that to make a polygon, what we have done, we have taken some points like this. You can see these are some points. These are the points at the top of each rectangular bar. I should say that these are the points on each rectangular bar, which also looks like to be the middle or the midpoint of that side. So aren't these the midpoints? Definitely. Then these midpoints are joined using line segments. You can see over here that we have joined these points using line segments, and we have completed our polygon by extending it before or preceding the lowest class interval and succeeding the highest class interval. And when we complete the base, this looks like a frequency polygon which is having n number of sides and is a closed polygon. So this is what a frequency polygon looks like. Frequency polygon can be made in two ways. First, by drawing the histogram, then locating the midpoints of each rectangular bar on the histogram, and then joining those midpoints using line segments and completing the polygon. That is one of the ways. There is one more way where we need not to make any histogram. We can directly take the midpoints of the class intervals, that is the class size, and we locate it on the coordinate axis. How can we locate a point? We know that whenever we need to locate a point, we need to have two coordinates, x coordinate and y coordinate. So the x coordinate for that is going to be the midpoint of each class interval, and the y coordinate for that point will be the frequency represented by that class interval. So this is how a frequency polygon without making a histogram is being made. So let us just write few things about it. We know now that what is a frequency polygon. That is again another way of representing the data visually. Let us write it over here. So a frequency polygon is another visual way of representing the data, right? It is another visual way of representing data in a frequency polygon. We determine the midpoints of class intervals and join them by straight lines to get the polygon. Right? This is how it's made. We can have two ways of making the frequency polygon. Frequency polygon can be made in two ways. What are those two ways? First, by drawing the histogram. Second, without drawing histogram. Right? So here again we are going to have the two mutually perpendicular lines. One will represent x-axis, the other will represent y-axis. On x-axis we are going to write class intervals, and on y-axis we are going to represent the frequencies. We are going to take suitable scale for each axis to represent the data. We can make the frequency polygon in two ways. First, by drawing the histogram, locating the midpoints of the height of the rectangular bars and then joining them by straight lines and then completing the polygon. Or the other way is without making the histogram, we will simply take the midpoints of the class intervals as the x coordinate and the frequency represented by that class interval as y coordinate, and we will locate those points on the coordinate axis. Once we get it, we will join those points using straight lines and then we will complete the polygon. This is how the frequency polygon is made. So I hope it is clear to all of you. Please note it down for your reference.